Welcome to Albany County Direct. I'm your host, County Executive Daniel P. McCoy. In today's episode, we're going to do something a little bit different. There's no guest today, just me talking directly to you, to the viewers, about a topic that's been on a lot of our minds recently. Last month, we all witnessed the tragic death of two American citizens in Minnesota, Renee Good and Alex Pratty, at a protest against the actions of the U.S. Immigration and Customs Enforcement Agency, also known as ICE. In this age of social media, many of us saw videos of these incidents and indirectly uncensored right on our phones. And that's the problem today. There's so much stuff that goes out there so quickly. It's a tragedy what happened. And what happens is it plays out for the family more and more. But what's truly horrible for me to watch, my thoughts and prayers go out to the families, these victims, and everyone affected by these incidents. We're at a crossroad in our country, a crossroad of do we go left, right, or do we continue to run right in the middle of the hill? This is on top of multiple heartbreaks and photos and videos of adults and children being dragged off by ICE officers, often in chronic scenes playing out at businesses, homes, churches across this country, schools, you name it, private businesses, going for the check-in, and the ones that are here legally checking in because they're late for their appointment or they didn't fill out their paperwork right that time. I challenge everyone, and I know it's a tough topic and there's opinions on both sides. I challenge you to tell me there's not one of you that fill out paperwork, and there probably is some of you that fill out paperwork and you don't make a mistake. You don't make a mistake. You shouldn't be uprooted, thrown down in Texas, and thrown in the country because you're late for your appointment, even if you're a day late. How many people forget to go to the doctors? How many people are going, I'm going to be at my friend's house at 1 and you show up at 4? It happens. You don't mean for it to happen, but it happens. In 2016, I made a tough decision in my county. And the reason why I say that is, look, I'm in politics. So at the end of the day, I have to answer to 330,000 people in this county and from all parties. And regardless, after November, regardless of your party affiliation, I still work for you. In 2016, I established the Regional Immigration Center for the Capital District in 14 counties through the northern New York area, up north, all the ways up to Monroe, through Clinton County, Monroe, all over, and it was so unpopular. I remember my conservative base giving me hell, other people saying, what are you doing? And I'm like, when people come here for school, or they come here on a work visa, or whatever reason they're here, and they get detained, or unfortunately, I think it was an incident, and I think I think it was the Times Union reported it. I'm not 100% sure. A woman from China who was at UAlbany got a DWI, and they threw her out of the country. If you don't have the right attorney that's educated, these scenarios happen. It might be a small misdemeanor to you and me, but it affects their immigration status. It affects them coming to this country. And their wives or their spouse could be here already in this country with their family, and now they got to leave because they made a stupid mistake. So when I started the Albany Regional Immigration Center, it provides assistance to court-appointed defense attorneys representing non-citizen clients in criminal court and family court procedures and regarding potential immigration consequences. The Albany ARC provides assistance, support, training. We do written resources, expert legal advice to these court-mandated attorneys because not all the time are they up to date. And no fault to themselves, they might have you plead to something not realizing the ramification it's going to have on your status or you being in this country. Why this office does not provide direct representation, you can visit our website for community resources or call for us to provide referrals to immigration partners in the region who can assist you. I think it's important with everything going on right now to share a tough story. And thankfully, we had a happy ending. And, I commend Governor Hochul for putting this moratorium out about ICE and not working with them. But there's times we have to work with them to have a good outcome. And I'm talking about the person, a mother named Maria, was arrested by ICE and sent to the detention facility in Louisiana, which everyone knows the story. She asked to be deported with her child under ICE detention parents' directive policy, which it is their policy, which we had problems. We tried to back channel it, work with ICE, and then I had to go public, and then they worked with us again, and it changed the outcome. That didn't happen at first. Her immigration attorney told her that ICE said that the only way to reunite them was to have ICE process her child into a separate youth shelter. No parent wants to do that. That wasn't in the child's best interest. Instead, she was placed in a foster care here in Albany County for 8 long months. A little girl waited without her mother. 8 months. During that time, we had repeatedly asked ICE to allow the child to be deported with her mother. We got help from Congressman Paul Tonko's office. We did this with the Prisoner Legal Services of New York, and there was no answer for us. There was no way they were going to let us do this. So then in September, Miri was sent to Colombia alone. Finally, after I did an interview with Spectrum News in October, which was a game changer about this injustice, things started to change. They didn't want the bad PR. They didn't want to have this egg in their face. And I can't thank Marissa Jacks enough for that interview, because it was a game changer and the outcome was a lot different or less fighting. The county received the child's passport. We were allowed to safely return her to her home and mom in Colombia. She was accompanied on a flight by 2 of our caseworkers in October 29. The pair was finally reunited after over 8 months. I can tell you as a father, this was so frustrating to me, and I'm sorry, because I think of my 4-year-old granddaughter and what that would be like for her to be in the same situation for 8 months around no one she knew, a language that, we had to have someone that was interpreter and always be with her. How hard and scary that had to be for her. How hard that had to be. This entire situation should never happen, and the lack of communication, assurance from ICE makes you wonder what would have happened if we didn't step in. This case is an example of how local government can still follow the letter of the law, but improve outcome for immigration families affected by the immigration enforcement. This isn't about politics. This is about doing the right thing, ensuring that individuals and families are treated fairly with dignity and respect that they deserve. I've said this, I've had the blessing of going around this world in my military uniform and not in my military uniform. And I've always said this, if I got in trouble, God forbid, or something happened, I would have the right to defend myself in that country. Given to me everything that would be given to a citizen to make sure that I have a fair outcome. That's what this country is based on. We're a country of immigrants. I want to remind people that. And you can say people come here legally, they should be going through legal. I'm not disagreeing with that. I worked with someone with our immigration center 14 years to get them here. 14. And you know how aggravated it was when people were crossing the border illegally, coming into the country. And I talked to someone then in the White House, or not the White House, down in the federal government about this. And they said, well, if they come across the border, they'll start their process over again. And they probably will get thrown out for violation because they're already going through the process. So that person got stuck 14 years trying to get to this country, and that's just the norm, 10 years, 8 to 15 years it takes. We need to fix that. Let's change the dialogue. We need to fix the immigration. We all say it, whether it's a Democratic president, Republican Congress, Democratic Senate. I can go on and on and on. But at the end of the day, you need to do the work for the people. Fix the system. Sit down. Clear heads prevail. Find a path for all these people that are here. They're here. They're here. We let them in. Let's fix it. Let's, do what we need. All background, things were checked out and people went through the process. But at this point in time, let's figure out how we can make it settled and for the people that were here. And revamp the system so you don't have issues like this. This country is a great country because you know what? We're made up of many countries, many cultures, so much diversity, so much food diversity, so much religious diversity. That's what makes us the best country in the world, I feel to this day. That's who we are as Americans. And, listen, what ICE is doing shouldn't happen. They've never been properly trained. If, Congress and Senate should put the training standards for them. I know it's a little too late now, but these are things that we need to address. This ain't about winning the White House or Congress or Senate. To me, this is about the people. Take the politics out of it and talk about the people and the narrative of saying, oh, they're getting free health care, they're getting free this, they're getting free that. I remember someone said to me, well, I don't need services. Why are these people getting freebies? And I looked at him, I'm like, hey, you should be thankful. You don't need food assistance, or you don't need help keeping your heat on, or, whatever your situation might be. People don't choose this. It happens to them for whatever reason. Education system fails them, and we could just go on and on and on and on. At the end of the day, these are people's lives, and we need to be better. We need to lead by example. So, I wanted to take this time and really talk about it. People are, always asking me where I'm at, what we're doing. Every day my administration's working. We had a meeting with the White House about a month ago with the County Executives of America, not just to talk about this, but to talk about everything. And I was there with Republicans and Democrats. And you know what? The Republicans that were all in, they're like, hey, our rural hospitals are shutting down. I'm going to say this wrong, the A1, A3 visas, so they can get foreign exchange students come in to work, their parks, like, Gattinsburg, Tennessee, Dolly World, here, Lake George, they need workers because kids don't want to do that type of job anymore. And the problem is they can't get them in the country, and that's why you see less rides open and less parks opening because they can't get the workers. You see that. And it's not just affecting us, it's affecting everyone, how we operate. We need to come back to common sense, back to the middle. Listen, I appreciate all the people out there protesting. I appreciate all the people speaking up for what they believe in, whether I agree or disagree with you. You have the right to do that on Facebook, social media. But let's follow the legacy of Dr. King and so many people before him. Peaceful protest, not violent protest. Violence is going to get you nowhere. Dr. King showed us at the end of the day, you can get so much done. Now, it didn't happen overnight. But today, his legacy and all the legacies of people like that have done peaceful things to get extraordinary outcomes, we can get there again. And that's what we need to do, to stand in solidarity as a country and come together as a country and take care of one another. So I do want to say thank you for listening, and I encourage you to continue letting your voices to be heard. Write to your federal representatives, advocate for real reform. Thank you for listening, and if you enjoyed today's episode, please check out other episodes on Spotify or Apple or our podcast. Subscribe to stay in the know. And again, everyone be safe out there. Thank you.